Okay, our next step is to produce and apply the bowl over the gessoed surface. So again, here's another ornament that I've carved, and it's been gessoed with about 12 coats, sanded smooth, and at this point it's been covered with bowl. And when we talked about putting the gesso on, we stippled. We will also stipple the first coat of bowl over the gessoed surface. Subsequent coats, and we can have up to 3 or 4, we're going to flow out just as if you were painting as best you can with getting in nooks and crannies. You may have to find, again, different size brushes to do what you need to do here. Typically, in France and Italy, and in England, this is how clay comes, in these patties. Okay, they mine the clay, they rehydrate the clay, and they drop these on tables out in the sun, and then these are sold to you. So these are solid clay patties. The first thing we need to do, and again, even in France, there's about 4 or 5 different reds pertaining to the different kings that ruled France, and in England, reds and yellows, and in England the same thing. So it's very, very specific. And basically this is not sold in this country. There's Sepp Leaf Products does import this, but it's usually as an on-demand basis. So this is pretty simple stuff. Let's just put it inside the baggie, and we're gonna pound it, break it down to smaller pieces on your workbench. Okay, when you get down to a workable size, you're going to take a mortar and pestle. You're going to pour this into the mortar and pestle, but for the purpose of the video, we're not going to do that. It will be poured, the pieces, the crust will be poured into it. You're going to take your hot water around 100 degrees, and you're going to pour that just enough to rehydrate, and then you're going to mash and mash, so you have no pieces or no chunks left, so you have a congruent mixture that we're going to call Gilder's mud, or Gilder's clay, or Gilder's bowl. The same thing, 3 terms for the same thing. So we have the Gilder's mud in our mortar and pestle. This is what, as a result of doing this preparation yesterday, this is the Gilder's mud. This was in the mortar and pestle, and we put it in here, okay? We put it in here, and in here was added, again, rabbit skin glue. We talked about rabbit skin glue is added in each of the processes of wood or gilding, okay? And again, the recipe will be found at the end of the video, okay? And again, we want to use distilled water only because there's contaminants, chlorinated byproducts, and other things that are in normal tap water that we want to avoid. We want to have the best possible process to get the end result that we're seeking. So we have rabbit skin glue, we have the mud or the bowl in here, and what we do is we heat it, and this has been heated, and heating at 100 degrees. And we take our piece, and even though this is has been gesso or bowled before, we're going to get in there and mix it up. And we can begin to stipple. We can stipple, or in this case, we're basically brushing out because it has so many coats on it. So we brush it out. And coverage is paramount. And typically, for the, again, the purpose of the video, we're not covering this. You could have a piece of paper to protect the workbench surface. But for this demonstration purpose, you're adding another coat of the bowl on here. Okay?